Welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to show some of the equipment from my ham radio days from back in mid 1980s. I happen to be a ham radio operator back then in the day, and I have some equipment here and kind of go through it. The first radio that I bought, I actually don't have it. It was a Radio Shack. It was a 10-meter radio that Radio Shack put out, and that was because the FCC back then kind of gave permission to communicate voice-wise, I believe, the technicians. So if you had a tech license, you were able to talk over the air, and that was a big deal. So Radio Shack came out with this 100 something 100, and that's all it was. It was a small radio, and just for 10 meters. And back then 10 meters was hot. That band was a hot band. You can communicate around the world with very low wattage. You didn't need a lot of watts. It was incredible, and that's how I got into the hobby. It didn't last too long for me. It's like any other hobby. I kind of start and then I just kind of give up. I don't get hooked up. So I'll show some of my equipment that I bought and I still have. There's not really a lot. And after that Radio Shack one, I believe I must have gave it to somebody new coming into the hobby, because then I bought this guy here. This Kenwood 440 was a really hot item in the mid 1980s. I got this, of course this is a portable one. You need a power supply to run it. I used to carry this in my car. You could take this with you and operate in any place as long as you have an antenna and you have some kind of a power supply, or you connect it to a car. I'll turn this guy on. This is, I think it's a 35 amp. And you can get a look at. I'm not going to go through the buttons. There's so many of them, and I probably don't even remember most of them. I know the power button is here, and you got the band. Of course, there's no antenna hooked up to it. 28. This is 10 meters. Around here is 10 meters. It's 10 meters right here. Anyway, so that's the radio. It's 100 watt. I did a lot with this radio. I really enjoyed it. It was a great hobby. You get to meet really nice people. Oh yeah, it's really nice people at the club. This here, it's a tuner. You need a tuner. You need to tune your antenna to the frequency that you're operating on. And this here is a power meter, and this WR kind of tells you if you are really tuned in that antenna or not. I got the microphone. This mic comes with the unit, but then I bought this mic right here, the MC60 microphone. There's a lot of different modes. one of the modes that I really like was CW, the Morse code, and this here is my first paddle. You'll be able to see that. It's just not really much, and that's how I used to communicate. Really got to like the Morse code a lot, and eventually what I got was an electronic one. Over here. And this one operates a little differently. It's got the pads. You operate it going this way. You'll be able to you can send the Morse code very easy this way, and you don't get tired with your fingers. Now this here, I'm not going to go too quick with this, but with the electronic one you can really go quick with it. And this is the one I got. People that want to know, contester, the CK2, and this is the bencher. I don't know what model is this guy here. Coming over this side very quickly. Here it's an antenna rotator. I think I had a 2-meter beam on this guy to rotate that antenna. Here's another tuner. No idea what I had connected on this. Can't remember. This is a MFJ 901B model. Here we have another power meter. This here is where I connected all my radios and my different antennas. Let's see if I can really show this a little better. I had the 440 radio, the 411E is a 2-meter. I'll show you in a minute. It looks like I had a CB radio connected to this. And here it is, that Radio Shack 10-meter radio that I had, 100 something. And then I was able to use a quad. Looks like I had a quad antenna. I had an isopole. I had a beam. And of course my multiband. So you can get on different frequencies. Here's another power meter. I think I showed one just like this in another video. So I have 2 of these. I didn't know. This here is the Realistic. The Pro 57. It's a scanning. It's a scanner. What it is. 10 channel. And this here is my 2-meter radio. Maybe I should bring it over here. See if I can show this a little better. I didn't have a big FM radio, or VHS I should say. This was my 2-meter radio, and I did a lot of things with this guy. It comes with this little antenna. I eventually bought this one, a little longer, I got a little more gain on this. And this here is if I want to use the AC to plug it in. Right now the battery, I think I charged the battery just to see if it works. Let's turn this on. Yep. Oh. Anyway, here's something. Somebody's on here. Not a lot of frequencies in here. Anyway, I also, another mode I got into that I really liked was the packet. It's called packet radio. It was a really hot item back in the 80s. It was like email before the computer, before email came out. We used to send packets through the airways. This one here, this model MFJ 1274, I sent packets to 2 meters in HF, in high frequency. I used to use a 440 for that. Let me see, I can't. Yeah, I can tell HF and VHF, and I think the speeds were different. On HF was 300 and VHS was 1200. But here's the connection. Made this little contraption so I can connect that to my my 2 meter radio. And here's the TNC connector. The only thing I don't have is the computer that I used back then. Over here is a power source. I believe I needed a little more power on my 2 meter radio. This one went from 2 watts in, 30 watts out. So I used to get 30 watts out of it for whatever reason when I connected the packet. It did and that's all the equipment I have. I did a lot of packet. I did a lot of CW. Mostly entered a lot of contests that we used to have throughout the year. Helped out a lot on bicycle races and triathlons and things like that. The ham radio club was involved in a lot of things, and I used to help out. That was pretty neat. I did this for about maybe 7-8 years, and then I lost my shack, I lost my room, I had to get out of the room. Everything got packed up, and then that was it. That was the end of everything. So all this equipment is from the 1980s. That's what all this. So I did packet, I did that. I used to follow the satellites. Amateur radios have I think like 5 satellites up there. I used to track them. Mir, the Russian satellite, had a beacon. You can tell when it went by. I believe they had a packet on board. One of the satellites had packet. We'll catalog this onto YouTube. The vintage radio operation ham radio station. And thanks for watching.